Check, check, check. Oh, baby, I'm seeing levels. You guys hearing me now? Check 1, 2. Checkity check. Boom. There it is. That was interesting. Yeah. You know, Chance, you got it down. Exactly. I didn't change anything. Actually, all I did was log in like usual. And then I noticed I wasn't getting anything down in the monitors in Streamlabs. So I tried unhooking a couple of things. I tried reconnecting the source, and it didn't do anything. So then I unplugged my DAW and plugged it back in, and here we are. It worked. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Good to see you. Here we go. I hope you're having a great day. Talk to me. What do we got going on here? You are over on Twitch. Hello there, Sir Robert Van Richrove Huntington. Good to see you, my friend, over on Twitch. Save State Scout. Over on YouTube, Dan Christian, happy lunchtime. Dan Christian, good to see your face, and by face I mean your name in the chat. Dan Christian, trying out for Jeopardy. Oh baby, I think that was so cool. When I saw that pop up on X, I was like, yes, that seems like such a cool thing to do. To go audition for freaking Jeopardy. I feel like I would get so destroyed. Like I could never do something like that, because if it was like pop culture based, I feel like I could do that. One of the things I love to do is like pub trivia. If you get a good group of guys and girls together for pub trivia, and you just have like all these people who have different expertise, it's so rad. Like we have this local one that we go to, and it's always just fire. I love it so much. And I think we've been probably 5 times, and 4 out of the 5 times we've got first place. And it's no like small feat. Like there's like sometimes 15 to 20 teams, but you just, when you get in that zone where you'll get in this zone where you'll realize like everybody brings something, and there's always that one question where like that's why that person was there. So like when I go, like I can do like the pop culture stuff and like some really random things, but then you got somebody who's like really good at like US history or crazy things, like somebody who's like really into literature, and like there's some obscure question about an author and they just nail it. And so it's like, to go on Jeopardy, you almost have to be like that, all of those people combined into one. I don't know. It's wild. I think that's so cool. So I thought that was rad to see that. What's on my shelf? They did that Jeopardy test in my high school too. I was picked as a contestant. Oh, dang. That's rad. Sour Cream Sanchez, I've been on Jerry Springer. That was wild. What? Dude, you're on Jerry Springer? That's ridiculous. Dude, there's got to be a link, right? Did it like air? We got to see this. Dan Christian, I did the Jeopardy contest. I did the Jeopardy contestant anytime test. Then they invited me to the Zoom contestant test with the Jeopardy stuff. Oh, dude. I mean, to get a callback like that, that's pretty rad. All right, let's do a couple of shout outs. First and foremost, of course, big shout out to my patrons, Owen Toast and JB Doll, holding it down over there on Patreon. If you guys are interested in being a part of the Patreon, it's only $3. And there'll be behind the scenes stuff. You get access to an exclusive chat. And I want to hear from you. Like, is there certain topics you want me to cover for future videos and stuff like that? Like, it's a great way to have kind of the inside track there. Of course, I love to listen to the community and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always going to take that stuff into consideration. But if you're investing in the channel in that way, like, that's a huge thing. And so I want to honor that. And so if you're interested in that, Patreon links are down below. Discord links also, if you guys want to hang out and chat and talk about games, wrestling, movies, music, shoot the breeze on all kinds of stuff. I'm basically logged in to Discord like 90% of the day, so you can kind of get me there anytime. And yeah, that's just a great place to come hang out and kind of get that thing popping off a little bit. So if you're interested, check that out below as well. Let's see. I want to give a little shout out over there on Twitch, Delusional93 with a follow. That was a few days ago. Thank you, my friend. And then 2 minutes ago over on YouTube, Hugh Yin. I believe I said that right. Subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're up like, we're on the road. Okay. We're on the road. Where's that? Over here. Yeah, my camera's mirrored. So we're on the road to 10K. That number has shot up like in the last 2 weeks. We're up like 50 or 60 subscribers, which is super cool. We're on the road to 10K. So if you're not subscribed, please do so. Share, all that good stuff. What do we got going on here? Sour Cream Sanchez, you were in the audience, but not part of the show. But still, dude, when you're on Springer, I feel like they show the audience a lot. We got to catch a glimpse of you. That would be rad. What's on my shelf? I want to hear about money. Oh, dang. Marcone says, Rob, we'll come to your house, play games for an afternoon if you subscribe to the pit. What? Oh, he can't do that? Oh, never mind, everyone. Dude, if you're local, we'll hang out. I'm totally down for that. That'd be rad. Got into small row about donations, income. Some people are shady about it rather than being upfront. Oh, yeah. What can I say? What can I say? If that's something you want to do, great. If it's not something you want to do, I just appreciate you guys being here and us getting to hang out. So that's really cool. I love that. Sour Cream Sanchez, I'm waiting for the trailer to Retro Hunters 2. The search for more retro. I have to see about that, dude. There's lots of... I feel like in my YouTube feed, there's been a ton of videos about people like selling their collection or like people catching flack for selling their collection, like their audience getting really upset. I think it was a video that I was checking out. Let me see here. I think it was it Retro or Iowa? Was Iowa Retro Gamer Dad? Is that his name? Retro, yeah. Iowa Retro Gamer Dad. One of the, let me see here. Let me take you over to the browser. We've, part of the, what is it? The Retro Force, Super Retro Force. Recently that Russ Lyman, if you know Russ Lyman, joined Super Retro Force. But, oh yeah, Super Retro Force, you can see it right there. But he had dropped a video just in the last few days about, yeah, the right way to YouTube and your collection sucks now. And just, it seems like there's a lot of stuff going down with like collectors either selling stuff or the audience having like a really strong reaction to like how you treat your collection, what you decide to sell, what you decide not to. So those are a couple of cool videos to check out. Some stuff that popped across my feed that I thought was great. Let's see. Oh man, what's on my shelf? The back and forth was about asking for money, then stating it doesn't matter because the amount wasn't needed. I see both videos about people selling and then people seemingly like it's the first time getting into retro and spending tons. Yep. I think it depends on which videos you click. Yeah, totally. I mean, my 2 cents on it is like, if you want to collect. And if you want to sell some stuff. You know what I mean? I think some of the ground that they get into that's like a little bit touchy is like, if somebody sends you something, like if somebody gifts you something, then you sell it, like what's the thing on that? It's like, you know, I got this sweet strategy guide from Sour Cream Sanchez not too long ago for when I finally do a playthrough of Symphony of the Night because I've never played it before. Like, I think this is awesome. Like, I don't have any plans of getting rid of this, but there would be people who would have like some pretty strong opinions of like, if he sent me that and then I decided to sell that for profit, like, is that okay? Is it not? You know, some people would say, hey, it was a gift. It belongs to you. You can do whatever you want. But other people would be like, hey, that's kind of shady. I don't know. So there's some interesting conversations that are happening in that a little bit. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see. There was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else in the retro space. I don't know that there was anything that kind of hit recently for me. Yeah. Guess we'll see. Okay, a couple of things that I think were pretty interesting. Number one, I don't know if you're into World of Warcraft. I recently, like maybe, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, jumped back on the bandwagon because it'd been a long time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go check out Classic. And I've been having a blast. Like, I love it so much. I forgot how much I loved it. And of course, I don't have the time to play like I used to, but I really, really love it. And retail sucks. That's my 2 cents. Classic, I think, is great. And then we just got an announcement that on the 21st, so in like 2 days, they're doing a fresh realm that is going to be classic. It's going to start out as classic vanilla WoW, and it's going to progress to the Burning Crusade, which was kind of I don't know if I jumped on right before Burning Crusade or if I jumped in the midst of it. But like for me, that was that sweet spot. Before Wrath of the Lich King, during Burning Crusade was like, oh, I loved it so much. So needless to say, I have like a level 36 priest that I started a few weeks ago, and it's like, it kind of sucks to start and get there and then see this fresh realm coming, because the realm I'm on right now, there will be no progression to Burning Crusade, but I definitely got to jump on that realm. So if that's something you're interested in and you're down to play a little bit of WoW, let me know, because I will definitely be over there. I got a couple of buddies we're going to play and do some stuff like that. Maybe, you know, I may do some streams, or maybe, I don't know, like maybe make some... I don't know if it would live here. I don't know if that makes sense, although World of Warcraft, I think technically now would definitely be considered retro. But it may be something that I like post to another my other channel or something like that. I don't know. But I'm really excited for it. If you're excited for it, let me know, and we'll hook up on there. It'll be really cool. Super fun. If you need a healer, I'm your man. There you go. The other thing, I mean, let's just get down to it. Did anybody watch Jake Paul and Tyson? Yeah. Jake, I was going to say, wait, was it Logan Paul? No, Jake Paul and the Mike Tyson fight. Were you excited for it? Did you watch it? And what did you think? I want to hear in the chat. I'm not going to lie. I was excited for it. Like when I first heard about it, I was like, but there's something about the idea of Tyson back in the ring. I was like, dude, I want so badly for Mike Tyson to just wreck Jake Paul. I was so looking forward to it. So let me know what you're thinking over here, and we'll talk about it just a little bit. Shelf watches Iowa Gamer Dad as well. Yeah, you like learning about people's reasoning about either selling or getting into retro? Absolutely. You are over on Twitch. RGT85 sold his collection last year, which was fine for me. My only problem with it was how he let his shelves empty. His video looked extremely depressing with the empty background for 2 weeks. Yeah. Marcone, how about Tetris Forever is getting so many negative reviews? Tetris Forever? I don't know if I know about that. Tetris Forever. What do we got here? Did I miss this? Tetris Forever over on Steam. Let's look at this real quick. What do we got? Oh, dang. Look at that. Is this like every possible version of Tetris in one spot? Yeah, mixed reviews. Although, what is there to say about Tetris? Like, what is it about Tetris that's getting a bad review? I'm curious. Let's just take a look at these. What are the negative reviews? You can't change the controls. Doesn't have the NES or the Game Boy Tetris. Okay, I can see that. If you're getting in there looking for something. Super fun game, great effort on showing the history of the series. Unfortunately, it does not have online play, which is a huge factor. Oh yeah, that does seem like a miss. I love Tetris more than a lot of modern franchises, but man, this one was disappointing. It's just a bunch of emulators that with enough tinkering, you can get to play anything. Even then, they don't showcase the best in the franchise. Huh. That seems like a big miss, but if it's not licensed by Nintendo, could they include the Game Boy and NES version? Because what this kind of seems like is you took the idea of Tetris and you maybe like some versions you could get your hands on, and you included them, but like getting Nintendo to sign off on something like this, I think would be pretty tough. I don't know about that. Let's see. Have you heard about the Sega Neptune finally getting a release? The Sega Neptune. What is the Sega Neptune? A new Sega Neptune console. This is over on RetroDodo.com. New Sega Neptune console has been revealed after being canceled 29 years ago. Okay. Interesting. Oh, wait. I feel like I saw a video maybe about the Sega Neptune. Was it... what's her name? Lady Decade? Yeah. I feel like I saw this recently. She was talking about this. Interesting. So it's coming back. Very recently, Brazilian tech company called Tectoy was still making Sega Genesis consoles for gamers. Wow. Still producing Sega Genesis consoles. That's wild. Okay. Interesting. Was the Sega Neptune, like what was the Sega Neptune? Is it like a next gen console? I mean, I can see it here saying 32X. Was it essentially, let's see. Games Care, Sega Neptune called the GF Neptune 1. In fact, it was reported by Metro, blah, 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 blah. It will play original Sega software in the form of original Mega Drive and 32X carts, as well as Sega CD games via a hookup port for the original hardware. So is the Neptune essentially a Genesis with the 32X hardware built into it, so you didn't have to have the adapter? So it's like a Genesis and a 32X slammed together, and then you can hook the Sega CD onto it? Interesting. I mean, it's not for me. I don't know that I felt like I missed anything with that, but that could be cool, I guess. All right. Let me get caught up over here. Marcone, that fight was so bad. It was obvious cash grab to Sarah from Sanchez. I was more excited for the internet reactions afterwards. I knew it would be bad. That's from Dan Christian. Sarah from Sanchez, I'm waiting for the next Gervonta Davis fight. I don't know who that is. Let's see. EOR didn't watch it. Hope that Tyson would smash his face in. But yeah, age 58, that's not so easy anymore. Not to mention he was paid $20 million. $20 million. That is wild. Let's see. And then we're talking about Tetris. EOR, they could have gotten the Tengen Tetris for the NES side. That's true. Yes. Dan Christian, Genesis with 32X built in. Yep. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. That's wild. Yeah. Okay. So the fight, I mean, oh my gosh. I think I had super high hopes. I think I wasn't looking at it realistically. I think, I was hoping for, I mean, when you watched some of the footage of Tyson preparing, I was like, he's going to murder this guy. And when they got in there, it really was like they were just playing patty cake, man. I don't know. It really did feel, when people were saying like, hey, it seems like it's fixed. It seems like he was pulling punches. I can see, I feel it. I feel you on that. It really did look that way. It was wild. There was just moments where it looked like he could have unleashed, and he just didn't. It was weird. It was really weird. So, I don't know. I mean, the bright side for sure is like nobody wanted to see. You got to see Tyson's butt. Nobody wanted to see that. But also nobody wanted to see him get hurt or something like really significant or tragic happen to somebody. Nobody wanted to see that. But we wanted to see Jake Paul get his butt kicked, right? I mean, at least get knocked down one time, maybe two times. That would have been sweet. I don't know. It was pretty disappointing. The only solace I think I have is like, with it being on Netflix, at least we didn't like shell out $60 on pay-per-view or something crazy like that. So I don't know. Yeah, there you go. What's on my shelf? How about Paul gets into the ring with a tiger? Ugh. Dude, that tiger blood. You're right. The one thing that I will say that I was like, dude, I don't care who he fights next. If it's not somebody legit, I don't even care. I'm not going to be sucked in to some ridiculous gimmicky fight. Then, literally today, I see, let's see, let's go over here to Yahoo Entertainment, and immediately I see I Show Speed challenging Jake Paul. And he said something to the effect of, I think he said, like, if you give me 6 months to train nonstop, I think is what it was. It was like, yeah, right here. I feel like I could beat Jake Paul in a fight. If I have 6 months, all I need is 6 months. If I have 6 months of training, I'm beating any monster in this world. I think I'm knocking him out in like 5th or 6th round. It's just going to be that that one good one. You know, like when Gervonta Davis got that one on Ryan Garcia, one good one, he's done. Sleep. Okay. As soon as I read that, I was like, I kind of want to see this fight. Is it going to be good? Probably not. But I don't know, dude. Speed is one of those guys where, like, you kind of think he's a clown, but then he will surprise you with something, like his ability to do something. And it feels like this almost feels like the ultimate culmination of like two guys that maybe you initially wouldn't have taken seriously in this realm. Let them go at each other and see who comes out as the winner. That's all I'm saying. This one, I actually was like, I would watch it. I would watch it. There you go. EOR, who is this Speed guy? You don't know I show Speed? Oh man, this guy is probably, I could be telling tales out of school. I feel like he is probably the number 2 biggest streamer besides Tyson, maybe? I don't know what their numbers are, but I feel like this guy is like, he's got to be in the top 5. Like most successful, famous streamers. And yeah, I don't know, dude. I think it could be. I think it could be sick. Okay, so Sour Cream Sanchez. Gervonta Davis is a monster. Who is? I'm not a big fight guy, to be honest with you. Like I like. I'm more of like a WWE. I'll watch some UFC. Like if some guys are getting together to watch UFC or watch a boxing match, I'm totally down to do that. But I'm for the most part, I'm never like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next UFC or the next boxing match or whatever. So these gimmicky ones kind of get me. You know what I mean? So I don't know who Gervonta Davis is. So like, okay, so to be clear, did they fight yet? Wait, Gervonta Davis lashes out Jake Paul and calls him a clown after the Mike Tyson fight. You a whole bozo for this. I love this. Gervonta Davis rips into Jake Paul after Mike Tyson fight. You a whole bozo for this. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So everybody's saying this guy's a monster. Has Jake Paul fought Gervonta Davis? Because that's what he needs, dude. He needs somebody who is just a legit contemporary monster to be taken seriously. If he can do that, game over. Like you can't say anything else. He's had a lot of gimmicky fights, but if he can do that, it's done. Like he's the real deal. But all these gimmicky things, it's just, I don't know. Let's see. EOR, okay, I don't watch big streamers anymore. It's not possible to interact with them. The chat moves too fast. Totally true. I know about Speed from clips, basically. Like seeing, like I don't really tune into their streams because I agree. Like it's just, you're just watching, basically. You're not really interacting. And so it's mostly clips that I see on like X and on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, like again, I'm not a big like Kai Cenat viewer, but the clip recently that he did where he did the chicken Big Mac, and then his buddy who always, I don't remember his name, but his buddy who like always gets the food tax, kicks in the door and has a full marching band with him. Oh my gosh, it was so good. That was hilarious. I love that so much. So same thing with Speed. It's like his clips just take over the internet because he's always doing like outrageous stuff, and it's funny to see some of the stuff that he does. Okay, Sour Cream. I would watch him when he was just an undercard fighter. Then he got trained by Floyd Mayweather. No, he hasn't fought JP. Oh, dude. Okay, let's freaking go. I'm down. Zach, I heard this guy Rob from Retro Hunters would kick some butte in the ring. Yeah, right. No, not even close. I've never been in a fight in my life. Dude, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Like, I don't even know if I've ever like legit like thrown a punch in my life. I remember in what was it, 4th grade, I jump kicked a guy. That was it. That was my fighting career. It ended right there. It was like, it's still like vivid in my mind too. It was like my buddy and I were playing with a ball, and this big kid came and took it. And when my buddy, like we were fourth graders and he might have been like a sixth grader. And I just remember he stole the ball from my buddy. And when my buddy confronted him, the big kid just hauled off and just like, dude, fine. Punted him right in the nards, bro. Just straight in the nards, full on, like what's the reference that I'm looking for? Dang it. Finkel, dude. Ray finkled him right. Ray finkled him right in the nards, and he just dropped. And then it's one of those moments where I don't think I've ever. It's just like you see red. Like that doesn't happen to me. That hasn't happened to me like hardly ever. And I just ran at him full speed, just flew in the air. And in my mind, it was like, freaking, what's let me pull this up. I have this image in my mind of what I looked like, and if this reference is correct, yes. Okay, excellent. Okay, in my mind, it was just straight up like the cover of Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Like this was just me, dude, in the air, just like jump kicked him right square in the middle of the back. He dropped. I ran. A yard duty teacher saw me kick him, blew the whistle. We ended up in the principal's office. What's going on? Explained the whole thing. We kind of went our separate ways. Didn't get into a lot of trouble, but this was like, dude, I was just flying through the air just like that. It was beautiful in the fourth grade. All right. Sour Cream Sanchez, watch Gervonta Davis KO videos. All right, I will check those out. You shattered his dreams, Gold style. Dude, no, I did not. I would never. Like, unless it was like a life or death situation, like I feel like that's off limits. This guy just, like, he was being a bully, man, and he did that to my buddy and just dropped him. It was bad news, man. But there you go. Oh my gosh, that was good. Nice Gold Dust reference. I love it. All right, let's see here. Last week, Zach over on YouTube. Yo, this song used to be used in some videos, right? Yes. So this is actually, okay, I love this. Some people are going to be for this. Some people are not. So this entire playlist that you hear on the stream, this is all original music. And you're not going to find it anywhere because I went in and created these songs, with quotes, created these songs using a tool called, here, let's check this out. It's an AI tool called Suno. So this is, here, let me get my credentials in here. And then I'll show you guys this. This thing is so sick. Oh my gosh. Some people are down for this. Some people are not. I understand. What I love about this is it allows me to go in and make, it's AI generated. Yes, AI generated music. It allows me to go in and create tracks, and I can use them in videos. I can use them on the stream. No worry about copyright. They're unique to me, and it's really, really cool. So this is actually kind of a cool thing. Like, here's what we'll do. This will be fun. Okay. If you're not into AI generated music, I totally get it. If this like brings up a conflict for you, totally get it. It is very controversial. I understand that. For me as a creator, not only as somebody who writes lyrics and can write some music, but I'm not a good enough musician technically to like sit down and do the things that happen in my mind when it comes to the music. I can write lyrics for days. I can have melodies for what I want to sing and all that kind of stuff for days. But when it comes time to like sit down and do it, it's hard. I have to collaborate with other musicians, and that's time consuming and it's hard. With something like Suno, and this is not an ad for Suno. This is just like, we went here, somebody asked the question, so I'm going to tell you about it because I love it and it's fun. It's so cool. Like, I can go in and this can be the collaborator where I can drop in different things. I can fine tune it. I can change things and get a song to a place where like it's sick and I love it and it's rad. And you can create background tracks and all that kind of stuff. And let's see. So I can go in here And so for instance, like, okay, so the song, so like I've been generating stuff for like other things that I've been doing, but like, let me go to my library and go to a playlist and then go to Retro Hunters. Okay. So like the song we're listening to right now, I titled it, The Hunter. Like that's what I ended up calling it because I thought it sounded good for like an intro. So what I can do though is I can take this and this is like over the course of like a few different generations. So I can say, I want to create something and I want to reuse the same prompt. So the prompt that I used was, I said, I want it to be instrumental. I want it to be a chiptune, a synthwave, and kind of an outrun, which is like a genre of like, kind of like that 80s synth vibe. You can add a ton of stuff in here. You can like alter things and all that kind of stuff. So then you click create and it's going to kick out 2 tracks at a time, and we can listen to them and like rate them based on like how close it is to what I'm looking for. And it's generating it in real time. So like for this one right here, like we'll just click and let's see how it sounds. Like this is, we're hearing this for the first time. Like, so like this is kind of sick, but it's super busy. Like all the like modulation that it's doing is a little rough on my ear. I don't really like that. See, like this part is sick. That's cool. Actually, that vibe is super sweet. Like I could chop that and like use that spot for something or something like that. Yeah, way too much. Yeah, Dan Christian. Yeah, way too much synth at the beginning. So let's hear what the other track sounds like. See that? The vibe of that is pretty sick on the front end, but it is really, really busy. Oh, that's pretty sick. I don't know. That one's kind of cool. So like what I would probably do in this situation is I would thumbs down the first one. It'll throw it out and say, okay, I learned off of that. And then second one, I might thumbs up that and then reuse the prompt and tweak a couple of things, and then it'll kick me out something that's kind of similar. So what's really cool is it will not only do instrumentals, but like you can take your own lyrics and you can drop them in and it'll create some cool stuff. So like this is a song I wrote called Firestarter that is lyrically what I wanted. Like I wrote it 100% lyrically, but when I went in instrumentally, I had some stuff that I had to go in and tweak. So this is probably after like 40 or 50 generations of like going back and kind of changing and tweaking things. And it kind of got a sound that I thought was sick. Style-wise, not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's so sick. Oh my gosh, I love it. And so yeah, so it's an interesting tool to be able to use to kind of start on things, kind of springboard some ideas, stuff like that. And then again, like as a content creator, to be able to go in and create some music that I can then use for backing video and stuff like that is really, really cool. So there you go, Suno. It's not free. Yeah, I think you get some like free credits, but it does require a subscription. So I did that, and I think it's really, really cool. Let's see. We're talking AI. Love that. Downloading the app now. We'll play on my train commute to work tomorrow. Oh man, the stuff you can do with it creatively, like you're just gonna love it. Like I don't know if there is a. Oh yeah, you can invite a friend. Okay, again. This is again not a what's it called? Not an advertisement, but I think if you use my code, I'll just drop it in the chat. If you use my code, then I think we'll both get some credits when you sign up. So if you decide to do that, there you go. There's that. And have some fun. Share some stuff with me that you make. And the cool thing is like when you go on and you go to the home screen, like other people have created stuff and like some of it's rad. Some of it is so silly and ridiculous. Like it's just fun. It's kind of a cool thing to mess around with. Let's see. Do you still have the games you found during Retro Hunters? No, not many of them. I did sell a few of them way back in the day. But the vast majority of the stuff I had was actually burgled, stolen, when I was living in Bakersfield. I lost a lot of my game collection. I lost my PS3. I lost my 3DS that Josh had bought me for my birthday, a laptop, a bunch of stuff, my wife's wedding jewelry. Yeah, it was bad news. Yeah, Bakersfield, we lived there for 9 months. It was not kind to us. Let's see. Shelf says, I've seen some pretty neat robots that have very human-like movement involving minute manipulation of things like eggs or pencils and stuff like that. Yeah, that's wild. Tried AI image generation, but there are no words like blood they don't like. I was able to trick them by using tomato juice. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I've been messing with probably for the past like 6 months, I think, is we would use AI. We would use ChatGPT to write like a fun bedtime story for the girls when they're going to bed. So it's really cool because we can sit together and say, you know, I can tell it like, hey, write me like a funny kid's story that is no longer than 300 words and include blah, 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 blah. So then I can ask them, I can be like, okay, who's the main character? And they can be like, one time they were like, a girl who has a magic toilet that every time you flush it, it launches her into space. Like stupid stuff like that. But then it writes like a fun kid's bedtime story. And then we read it as a family and it's like silly and dumb and really cool and all that great stuff. And then you can tell it like, hey, create an image of the main character or something like that. And then, you know, it kind of illustrates it for you. And so it's like, yeah, it's just like a fun, kind of a cool way to like have an interactive, real-time interactive, you know, bedtime story or something like that. It's really cool. Yeah, Mad Libs, kind of like that. Yeah, totally. Because it'll be ridiculous. It'll be like, give me a main character, give me the setting. A lot of times we'll say like, okay, what's a magical item that's in the story? You know, and so they'll come up with all these things, and then we feed it in, and then it kicks something out. And you know, it can be a thing where I'll sometimes say, have it end on a cliffhanger, and so then it'll do that. And it'll end it on a cliffhanger. And then the next night I'll say, hey, give me the next 300 words. And it'll give us the next portion of the story. And so maybe we'll do that for like 2 or 3 nights in a row and then tell it to end the story and it'll do that, which is really cool. So it creates like, yeah, just like a fun way to do bedtime, you know, bedtime story or whatever. Yeah. Love it or hate it. The whole thing with AI, I think there's definitely some, you know, there's definitely some concerns that should be taken into account and things that should be safeguarded. But I also think that it has such a potential to help us with certain things. And I also love that it is really helpful in kind of creating some of those like springboards to creativity. Like if you bypass creativity full stop and just give, I don't know why my controller's not working. Give me a second here. If you bypass creativity and full stop, just go with, hey, AI, give me something. And that's all you do. Like, yeah, I think that that's not great. That's not a good way to go about it. I think it's ridiculous, but to use it as kind of a starting point or a brainstorm or ways to sharpen ideas, I think is really, really cool. And there's a fine line there somewhere. I totally get that. What that fine line is, I think is going to depend on the person probably, but I think it can be useful. Let's see. That sucks. I know you're a busy guy. What are the chances you start Retro Hunters 2? I'll get back to that in a minute. It does have potential to play around, but I don't see it being profitable in any sort of way. Sure. Yeah. I don't know enough about that. I just know like in my realm, in the ways that I use it both personally and then professionally, I don't feel like it's going to replace anything full stop, but I feel like it has like, increased the speed at which I can do certain things or sort of, helped with like the productivity, I guess. Stuff like that, you know? As far as like how profitability, yeah, that I have no idea. Adam Wilson, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome. We're getting ready to jump in right now, play a little bit of Final Fight. Last week, I think we literally played not 3 minutes, like 30 seconds, and then just kept talking. So that's what happened. Dan Christian, Super Retro Hunters. Okay, so when you say Retro Hunters 2, when I hear that, what I assume you're saying is like, is there going to be a new series of videos that are about collecting and hunting as kind of a reboot to that portion of what the channel had been back in the day? If you want to confirm that for me, if that's what you mean, or is there something else that you mean by that? And then I can jump in on whichever one you're talking about as I slam Andor. Also, if you're kind of like, I don't know if there's anybody who hasn't been around for this, but just in case you're kind of new to like what we're doing here, we're playing Final Fight 2 on Expert to make sure that, for the love of God, we get the full ending when we beat the game. However, I really am not great at beat 'em up games, and especially on Expert, I feel like I'm going to get my butt kicked. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea. Super Retro Hunters. Oh, today the Wii turns 18. Oh, baby. Grown. Born and raised. Adam Wilson. I feel like it's way harder to do a game hunting channel nowadays. Buddy, you ain't lying. Let me get that Andor guy out of the way here because he was making me nervous. Yeah, the whole the hunting and the collection videos, I mean, I feel like the ones that are still successful, something like Pixel Game Squad, I mean, it's so... It in some ways feels like it's less about... Well, I don't want to speak out of turn here. It's more about the collecting of the goods than it is necessarily about the games, I feel like. For me, I know I've said this a few times on stream, and I don't necessarily see it changing anytime soon. I know never say never. I could be wrong. I don't know what it would take for that to change for me, but I don't see that being like, oh, that was rough. Am I going to have to start the level over? We have 6 continues. We're going to play as Mike. Oh, we got to start over. Oh, that's bogus. Just the grind of collecting physical media again and everything that comes with that, I just don't see that changing for me anytime soon. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I mean, the actual act of collecting physically is not really something that I'm... Gosh, that took so much of my health. Oh my gosh, get out of here. No! I don't know that it's something that I'm really that passionate about or interested in anymore. I don't feel like I have a lot of space in my life, both physically and symbolically, to acquire a bunch of things. And the shocking guy is kind of driving me crazy. I just don't know that I have that space, to be honest with you. And I just don't have I don't really have the desire. Like, for me, and again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but like, even from the beginning of the show, the thing we used to always say was like, we're not experts. We're not even really, I would say, collectors. Like, the whole premise was us, like you guys coming along on the journey as we look for things that either we really enjoyed as a kid or that we didn't have the means to experience as a kid. You know, for instance, like Josh with the TurboGrafx 16. Like, he didn't have a TurboGrafx 16. He probably didn't have the ability to get one back in the day. But then he was able to find one for, you know, a reasonable price, and then he was able to experience that as an adult, which is really cool. So that was kind of the whole premise of the show. These days, I don't know that there's anything that I really feel like, man, I missed out on or that I have a hankering to experience physically. And the logistics of what it actually takes to go out and film an episode of something like that with all the moving pieces, like you just need... In some ways it would be easier because the technology in order to do it, oh my gosh, is a lot easier nowadays compared to what we would have to do back in the day as far as camera, audio, all that kind of stuff. But it still would revolve around like setting the time to go somewhere, to dig through stuff, to have somebody run the camera, all the editing of all of that footage, all that kind of stuff. And for me, it's like without the passion and the drive to collect physical media, it's hard to manufacture the excitement and the drive to create content that way, I guess, is really what it comes down to. So I think for me, like the thing that I really, in this season of life and content creation, I think the thing that I'm mostly leaning into and really enjoying and finding a lot of fulfillment in is things that create connection. So that's part of the reason why I love live streaming is like, right now, here we are, we're in real time, we're hanging out, we're talking, we're exchanging ideas, we're connecting. All of that is rad. Like, I love that. It's like when you post a video and it gets a ton of comments and you get to like respond to all those comments back and forth, but it's happening in real time. I love that. It's so cool. And just like the relationship and the camaraderie that we've built here as a channel and as a community, like that's rad. To when I don't want to speak for you, but like when you tune in, when you log in to this stream, you log in with the anticipation that you're going to see me and we're going to interact and hang out. I have that same anticipation. Like, it's not that I just want to sit down and like whoever pops up in this chat, whatever people have to say, who cares? Like, I'm going to do my thing. And if you guys want to chat, do your thing. It's like, I pop in here anticipating that Marcone is going to be there. Dan Christian is going to be there. What's on my shelf is going to be there. Sour Cream Sanchez is going to be there. Adam Wilson, like all these guys are going to be there and we're going to hang out and we're going to get caught up on what happened and like have a good time. And so that's what I love about it. And so for me, like that's way more, motivating and something that I'm way more passionate about than collecting anything physically. And so like this, like I said in my, why retro will always be better than modern. And I think as I've said in regards to the stream, like the game is just the vehicle, the retro game and all of that stuff is just the vehicle that brings us together to interact as a community, which I think is super cool. And so like, that's why that video, why retro is will always be better than modern. Why one, creating content like that was really exciting for me and motivating. And I was passionate about it and putting that out and then seeing the response it got, it obviously resonated with a lot of people. So like leaning into that and the way that connects people and stuff is like way more kind of the vibe that I'm feeling in this stage of life and creativity and all that kind of stuff. So Retro Hunters 2, as far as like a hunting, collecting show, probably never. I don't want to, I like never say never. So probably never, just because I'm not in that stage anymore. But my hope is that like, yes, like the name Retro Hunters is there because it brings with it certain connections and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's recognizable to a certain group of people that's going to have them come back and like hang out and they have an expectation of who I am and all of that kind of stuff. But my hope is that like the name Retro Hunters, while it had a meaning back in the day of what it meant, is that as we move forward and like pave a new trail or like blaze a new trail, that will always be a part of it. And that'll be the foundation of how we started and something we can always look back and enjoy. But like, there's something new and fresh and like exciting and connective waiting ahead, I guess is a way that I would put it. So, let me see here. And let me get caught up on this chat because I was talking and so much of it has hit. Let me see. Okay. So going back, Game Chasers has the old vibe of game hunting still. Yeah. I've caught a couple of pieces of their videos. It definitely feels like they have kind of stayed the course, which is really cool. I love that. Although I did watch where they like ate some Batman cereal that hadn't been opened since the 1980s. That was so gross. Go watch that if you haven't seen that. I'd rather have physical games than DL content, says Dan Christian. I totally get that. Adam Wilson, never a huge fan of Game Chasers. Retro Hunters was always more my jam. Thank you. I get that. Same like premise, same sort of genre, but definitely different feels, different vibes, different approaches, all that kind of stuff. Not that one's better than the other or one is right and one is wrong, but just like very different. So I totally get that. Retro Hunters was more my vibe than Game Chasers was, for obvious reasons, but also just as an audience, like it just was a different vibe, and I would lean more towards what we did and kind of the style that we brought other than that. But that's just me too. Let's see. Mark Hone says, think of Retro Hunters now as hunting down the fun times, and that means playing retro games such as this on stream. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I love that. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks, dude. But really missing Zelda Gold cards going for $10. Now they're 50 plus. I know, dude. I've said it before and I'll say it again and I'll say it till the day I die. We didn't realize how good we had it back then. When I still kick myself when I see the clip of us. I think it was, it might've been episode 2 when we, the one, or not episode 2. Maybe it was episode 2. It was definitely the one in San Jose where I think we were with Destin. It was either that one or it was episode 2. But when we found like Turtles in Time for $10 or $15, and I was like, I don't know, it's kind of steep. I'm like, oh man, what a dummy. Adam Wilson says, I get that. I just prefer Rob and Josh's sense of humor more. Totally get that. Thank you. San Jose Market is still here. The same vendors as your RH episodes. Okay, wait. So San Jose, isn't that the, you know, if I do that, you'll get all my profits. Wasn't that guy at the San Jose flea market? Is he still there? Hit it up in the chat. I want to know if that guy is still there. At some point, I got to get back there and connect with that guy. That would be like such a great full circle thing. Oh my gosh. Think of this as New Game Plus. You're all retro hunters as well, be it collecting, playing, streaming retro games. That would make a good video topic, what retro hunters is today. Oh yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah. Sour Cream Sanchez says, Retro Hunters was the first game hunting channel, right? Okay. I don't think so. This is there's a few schools of thought on this. Let's go over to the browser. So the one that I can say for sure who was doing it before we were doing it was Pat. Yes, Marcone hit it right there. I think Pat the NES Punk did it before then. Yes. Flea Market Madness, Pat the NES Punk was before us and was an inspiration to what we decided to do. I saw a Pat the NES Punk Flea Market Madness video and I thought, one, at that point, I had zero retro stuff and I was like, man, I want to get some of this stuff. I also would love to create some content as a video guy. This is a cool idea for a show. I think we could put our own spin on it. And in my opinion, do it in a way that's better. But I think we could do something like this. So that's what motivated it back in the day. There's one guy. What was his name? Ryan. I want to say it was Ryan Right Now. Is that his name? Yes. This guy right here. There's two schools of thought. Some say he came before us. That could be true. When I went back and looked at his videos, I could be wrong here. I feel like, okay, he had his very first video, thrift store finds, 13 years ago. What was the actual published date? April 11th, 2011. Okay. Now, if we go to our channel and we go back to, this is like a rabbit hole we're going down. This is just educational for me even. We published our first video August 16th, 2010. Okay. Now, and he was April 11th, 2011. If he was publishing anything before that, I don't know. We published this episode on YouTube August 16th, 2010. However, the other thing to know is before we were posting on YouTube, we had been posting on Screw Attack for much longer. We migrated over to YouTube after a certain amount of time because we wanted to try to gain some ground over there. So were we the first? I can't say that because Pat was doing his Flea Market Madness videos well before we were, and he was an inspiration to us. Other than Pat, I don't know. Other than Pat, I don't think so. So if somebody can find somebody who was publishing, I would say, I don't remember when we started publishing on Screw Attack. Maybe you can use the Wayback Machine and find out when episode 1, Butt Stroking a Russian, was on the front page of screwattack.com. I don't remember the date. But if there was somebody prior to us, I don't know who it was. So that's all I have to say about that. Haven't seen the Profits guy lately. Dang. Adam Wilson says, bro, I met that guy at the San Jose Flea Market. I asked him for a deal and he pretty much gave me the same lecture. Dude, he sticks to his guns, man. He had such an iconic look. I think that was part of it too, is like, he wasn't like a generic dude. Like, he had almost this look of like a villain in some ways. Like, it was so good. It was perfect. Adam Wilson says, I used to like Ryan Right Now. Then one day he just kind of disappeared. Yeah. When was his last? I'm surprised he only has 3.8 subscribers. I would have imagined that he had more than that. It looks like the last time he published was 11 years ago. Okay. So we stopped Retro Hunters. Gosh, what was it? 9? Was it 9 years ago? 10 years ago now? Maybe longer. When did episode 18? We're almost out of time too, but yeah, In the Mood, 2012. Okay. Yeah. So like 12 years ago. So right around the same time. I don't know, man. It was a special time. A special time in the YouTube retro era. What can I say? But there you go. Ryan uploaded a drunk video and disappeared after that. Oh no. Dang it, Ryan. Well, we all got to go out some way, I guess. Dan Christian, Screw Attack partner era. Yeah. We were posting on Screw Attack for, I want to say, at least like a year before we actually had the whole partner thing happen. But yeah, so there you go. Guys, we're out of time. So there you go. How far did we did not hardly make any progress on Final Fight. We might have to hang that one up. I don't know. I just get so excited talking with you guys that the game has kind of taken a backseat. I was joking on the Discord with Marcone last week. I was like, maybe I need to change my Twitch category to just chatting, because I think I'm fleecing some people over there. Oh my gosh. There you go. Guys, I got to run. Thank you for hanging out. As always, such a pleasure to hang with you guys. Make sure you check out the Discord if you're down to do that. The link is down below. Lots of cool stuff for us to chat and hang out and talk about and all that good stuff. Patreon link down below if you want to support the channel. All that great stuff. Really appreciate that. Again, a big shout out to Owen Toast and JB Doll. Thank you guys for your support of the channel. If you haven't watched the Why Retro is Always Going to Be Better Than Modern, go watch that. It's had a great response. Kind of blew up for our standard for the channel. Gained like 60 subscribers off of it, and it's sitting at like 1,800 views, 132 comments, which is big for where the channel is now. Like, so that was a hit. So figuring out how to lean into that format and kind of talking about some of that stuff is going to definitely be in the future. So I have some ideas for a couple of videos that I want to publish, but I just need to get them filmed and do all that kind of stuff. So Dan Christian, 5 minutes of gameplay, 55 minutes of hanging out. I know, dude. I hope it's enriching to you guys. It doesn't feel like a waste of time to me. I just like hanging out with you guys, and it just feels so much more engaging and cool than just like me sitting here playing and us not talking about anything. So it's been cool the last 2 weeks to see that kind of take off and for it to have that kind of vibe. So I really appreciate that. So, all right, let me see here. I want to say thank you to Dan Christian, Sour Cream Sanchez, Save State Scoot. Saw them at the beginning. Not sure if they're still here, but if you're still here, thanks for being here. What's on my shelf? Marcone, as always, the mod with the most. So grateful for you, my friend. Thanks for all your help and everything that you do. Who else we got in here? I'm just like scrolling. Zach, a.k.a. Rockhaz. Why did I draw a blank on that? Oh, my gosh. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, man. Jeez Louise. All that good stuff. EOR over on Twitch. Thank you. If you're ever on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit a thumbs up and subscribe. All that good stuff. If you want to check out Suno, use the link that was there. You know what to do. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. Stay retro. I'll see you soon. And somebody's got to take down Jake Paul. I think it's going to be I Show Speed. Let's do this.